We that play video games know that a lot of excellent games are released and don't get attention deserved. Some do, some do not. So today I want to talk about 10 incredible games that many people didn't play yet. Some new games, some a little bit older, but all really good games. Well, I hope you like the video. Click on the like button, subscribe for more videos like this, and let's go to the games.
Love, you left him in tears.
Geppetto's puppet. We need your help. J'ai rencontré
Lies of P is an excellent dark action RPG game, set in the beloved Souls-like style. The game was developed by a studio from South Korea, the studio Neo is, and it was released in the end of 2023 to Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 4 and 5, Windows, and Mac OS. This is a game that every fan of hard action RPG games should play. A game with extreme quality in all aspects, since the gameplay, graphics, story, and many details. It's set in the classic tale of Pinocchio, but a dark version of it. As you start playing, you'll eventually have some choices to do. What can change the ending of the game? If you lie, you'll eventually start to become human. If you always tell the truth, you'll remain as a puppet, altering dialogues, items from quests, and the ending itself. The gameplay is fluid and extremely addictive. Once you learn the mechanics, you just won't want to stop playing anymore. So give it a try.
Listen, pal. Nice landing, but, let's not make it a habit.
In this waking nightmare, where all dreams come true, you searched for control, a way to pull through. But in darkness they came, through stormy black seas they raided these shores. Do you still hear his screams?
Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is a dark action-adventure game that mixes combat, puzzles, a deep and great storytelling, and some nice scenes. The game was developed by the studio Ninja Theory and released in 2017 to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Windows, but eventually was also released on Nintendo Switch. And if you're playing in the current generation, there's an update for a better performance, even on PC actually. The gameplay of the game is really simple. Even the combat is not like a hack and slash or anything like that. But the game will hook you really fast if you like immersive stories. In the game, you control Senua, a girl who's fighting to save the soul of her dead lover, and she suffers from schizophrenia. So during the whole game, you'll keep hearing voices from her head telling Het to do or not do things. And the audio design of the game is in another level, because it all feels really well connected. So if you never played, give it a chance, and there's a sequel already. But in my opinion, it's not as good as the first game.
So, to these gods you cannot pray. They can break you, but not your promise. Through his darkness you will find him. In your sword still beats a heart. You fought for love unspoiled by your darkness within.
Before this whole thing started, I just floated through life. I know this is gonna sound crazy, but my life didn't start until the world came to an end.
Sunset Overdrive is an insane open-world third-person shooter. The game was developed by the studio Insomniac Game, the same studio of the new PlayStation Spider-Man game. But look how curious. This is an Xbox exclusive game. Well, not just Xbox, but also Windows. It was released originally in 2014 to Xbox One, and in 2018 it received a version to Windows. That was really welcome, because this game is really good. Embrace the chaos of Sunset City through a hyper-colorful, post-apocalyptic single-player campaign and 2 bonus expansions, Mystery of Mul Rig and Dawn of the Rise of the Fallen Machines. Outgun crazed mutants, homicidal robots, and villainous thugs on your journeys with the included weapons pack. The gameplay is fast, fluid, and dynamic, with many features like grinding everywhere in the streets, bouncing on cars, tires, wall riding, and much more, making the gameplay really fun. The combat is really good. As you move as fast as you can, there will be many different weapons you can use, each one with their own style.
Alright, nerds, this ends now!
I sense some epic missions in my future.
To battle!
I'm trapped here. In this nightmare. I write to escape. Every word is a step forward. Into darkness.
It's right up your alley.
The victim was one of their own. FBI Special Agent Robert Nightingale.
Alan Wake 2 is the sequel of the original game released in 2010. That's also an excellent game. But Alan Wake 2 was released in 2023, and in my opinion didn't get all the attention it deserved, because it's a masterpiece, one of the best horror games ever released. It was developed by the studio Remedy Entertainment and released to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. It was even competing for the Game of the Year in 2023, but Baldur's Gate 3 won it. But Alan Wake 2 won the award of Best Direction and Best Narrative. Different of the first game, here it's much more than combat and storytelling. There's so much more to explore and discover, with much more puzzles, possibilities, connections, even with control. That's another excellent game. There are combat moments, but it's really different of the first game that was faster, with a lot of ammo and enemies everywhere. Here it is slower, but also way more immersive in the fights. So if you want to play a game with a dense story and impressive moments, this is the game.
Someone knew they were here. Was playing a game with them.
The killer left a message.
There's something I'm forgetting. Something important.
There have always been angels, there have always been demons, and there have always been a war.
DMC, Devil May Cry, is the reboot of the series released in 2013 to PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and Windows, but it eventually got a version to Xbox One and PlayStation 4. The game was developed by the studio Ninja Theory, the same studio of Hellblade, and they did an excellent job making a new version of the series, but it didn't please everyone. So many people didn't play it uniquely because of this hate. But if you never played it and look at the visuals and don't see any problem, bro, just play it. The gameplay is really good, the story is fun, and the combat is one of the best of the series to this day. It's even sad that the game was wrong for some small decisions that didn't please some old fans. But if you're searching for a good hack and slash to play, this game may please you, even more than you can possibly imagine. So it's worth a try.
Fine line between mercy and justice, ain't that right, Hazel Flood? You chose a hard road for yourself.
Hazel, please, it isn't safe!
We got a long journey ahead.
I'm always fast enough!
South of Midnight is a game released not so much time ago, in April of 2025, a game developed by the studio Compulsion Games, and released on Xbox Series XS and Windows. As Hazel, you will explore the mythos and encounter creatures of Southern folklore in a macabre and fantastical world. When disaster strikes her hometown, Hazel is called to become a weaver, a magical mender of broken bonds and spirits. The game mixes combat, platforming, exploration, and a good story, all that with many animations made in stop motion. What added a lot of personality to the game. Despite the combat is simple, it's really satisfying, especially playing in the hard mode, because it'll make you master all the abilities you have. You won't have a lot, but the game will keep giving you new tools, mechanics, and upgrades to the end of the game, what makes it really fun to play. The game also got really cool boss fights with nice stories behind, and another very good thing about the game is the soundtrack with exclusive, really good songs made for the game.
It's not safe out there, Hazel. If I was the one missing, she wouldn't stop looking. Crouton? What the? And this ain't even the weirdest thing I've seen today. I'm seeing these things.
You can see strands. And now you're looking for a creature. You're a weaver, aren't you?
Death's Door is an isometric action-adventure game that mixes Metroidvania with action-adventure. The studio that brought us the game was the Acid Nerve. It was released in 2021 for PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, Nintendo Switch, and Windows, and eventually a version to iOS and Android was also released. Reaping souls of the dead and punching a clock might get monotonous, but it's honest work for a crow. The job gets lively when your assigned soul is stolen, and you must track down a desperate thief to a realm untouched by death, where creatures grow far past their expiry. A game with a lot of charisma, an original and fun game, with nice combat moments, great puzzles, good soundtrack, and a fun progression, with powers, upgrades, secret items, and swords, making you always feel like you're stronger, what make all games even better. So I'm sure that if you like isometric action games, this one will surely please you.
Attention, lads! The brave man tastes death once. Cowards, 1,000 times over. And we have already spilled barbarian blood. And we know they bleed as we do.
Ryse Son of Rome is a fun hack-and-slash game released in 2013. The game released in the same day of Xbox One. And beyond the PC version that was also released, it's to this day an exclusive game of that console. But you can play on Xbox Series XS too, but in the Xbox One version. And the game was developed by the studio Crytek. Xbox One wasn't as successful as Xbox 360. So many people just forgot about this game. What's sad, but today I'm here to remind you that this game is really worth to play to this day. A game with a short, yet very fun story and excellent combat. That's the best part of the game, with quick event times. That works really well in this game, adding gore and great scenes to the gameplay. And as you can see, the game was released in 2013, but if you didn't know it, and I said it was a 2023 game, I'm sure you believe. The graphics are really impressive to this day, better than many games that tries to make realistic graphics. So if you didn't play it, give it a try.
On me! Move!
Last winter, we were up on Farewell Ridge. We're watching the freaks. Thousands of them. I mean, too many to count. All I could think was every one of us, man, woman, and child, are now homeless.
I could have put Sarah on a chopper. I felt relieved. How fucked up is
Days
that?
Gone is an insane post-apocalyptic open-world game where there's zombies everywhere, and they're many, so you better be quick. It was developed by the studio Ben Studio and released to PlayStation 4 in 2019. Many people that tried the game in the launch date was disappointed, especially because of the performance. That was really bad back then. So many people just dropped the game and never returned, what even made other players think that the game wasn't worth. But the point is the performance was fixed, and the content of the game is really good to be ignored. The world is fun to explore, and combat is fluid and extremely satisfying. And the story, despite it's not a masterpiece, it got its good moments, but for me, the best thing of the game is explore its universe. Riding with the bike everywhere to see what you can find, what feels really immersive.
Two Dog.
Two Dog! Damn it! Stop, Two Dog!
At the midpoint on the journey of life, I found myself in a dark forest, for the clear path was lost.
Dante's Inferno is a hack-and-slash game with a gameplay totally inspired in God of War, but different of what many people thought back then. The game is much more than a God of War-like. The studio that developed the game was Visceral Games, an EA game studio that today doesn't exist anymore. What's sad, but the game was released in 2010 to PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 and later to PSP, but unfortunately the game never received a version of PC, what makes it harder for many people to play it. But you can play on Xbox One and Series XS through the retro compatibility, and it's on Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, by the way. The game follows the story of Dante from the Divine Comedy, and the universe of the game is really good, with a nice representation of every point of hell, as its biggest part is set there. The combat and gameplay in general is really similar to God of War, but with its own style of weapons, powers, and skills, as you can use the evil ones or good ones that you can upgrade by absolving or punishing souls. So if you have the opportunity, just play it.
What kind of man locks up helpless women? There will be a day of reckoning, Crusader! My family, my baby's gone!
And those are the games, guys. Do you think another game should be in the list? Let me know it. I could put in a second video in this style. Well, thanks for watching, like the video, and subscribe for more. And I see you in the next video.